Come sit in a circle around Uncle Scott, kids. It's story time. Hey YouTube, how you doing? It is Monday and I wrote a little question on my Google Plus and I said, should I make a video tonight? And if I do, what should I make it about? And the best response I got was, tell a love story of how you met, how you proposed, blah blah blah, all that mushy-gushy stuff. And I decided, okay, I will tell that story. This is the story of how me and my husband Rocky met. It all started way back in 2004-ish. I had just finished getting my heart ripped out through my ass by my ex-boyfriend. And to this day, I still refer to him as Voldemort. But that's a totally different story. I don't want to get into that story. But I just want to have some context here for the story that I'm telling. So Voldemort and I had just broken up, or rather, to be more accurate, he had just broken up with me. And I was a total man-hater. So man-hater Scott, feeling sad and alone, logged onto his computer, onto gay.com and to the chat room. So man-hater Scott is going see who's online, talking to people, say hey what's up. And the next thing you know, someone named Rocky starts chatting with me. So I'm chatting with this person named Rocky and things are going perfectly good on the chat room. And the next thing you know, somehow he gave me his number, I gave him my number, and a few seconds later my phone is ringing because he is calling me. I pick up the phone and I'm like, hey. And he's like, hey, this is Rocky. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And then he proceeds, like a perfect gentleman, to ask me if I'd like to go out to coffee. This is where man-hater Scott becomes completely irrational and crazy and says, yeah, I'm washing my hair for the rest of my life, so I'm not going to be able to make it. Clearly, man-hater Scott is a complete jackass. So now you're thinking, wait, Scott, you're married to Rocky, but your first interaction with Rocky was totally blowing him off and hanging up the phone on him. Yep, that's what happened. So now, fast forward 6 months out. Okay, we're talking, yes, 6 months. I am no longer a man-hater. I have worked through my issues, and I am now awesome Scott again. You know, Voldemort had turned me into man-hater Scott, but now I was awesome Scott again. And me and my buddy Ben joined a gay bowling league here in Sacramento. And it was there where across the bowling alley I see this person. And I'm like, I recognize that face. Who is that? That is that guy Rocky that I talked to that one time on gay.com. And I was a jackass to him. Now, I didn't go up and talk to him because I am shy. And I realize that some people don't believe me that I'm shy, but I am shy. Okay, I freak out when it comes to approaching guys, and so I didn't go up to him and be like, hey, what's up, or anything like that. Instead, I did the next best super mega awkward thing. I just kind of like stared at him. And this is the part where, you know, Rocky has to fill in some blanks, but I'll tell you his part because I know his part. He was there bowling with his buddy DJ on a different team, and DJ told him, that guy is totally checking you out. And Rocky's like, he's not checking me out. And DJ's like, yeah, go to the bathroom, come back, and I will verify that he's checking you out. So Rocky says, okay, fine. And he walks over to the bathroom, goes into the bathroom, walks back out. Meanwhile, I, of course, am just staring at him, walking to the bathroom, walking back. And when Rocky gets back, his friend DJ goes, yeah, he's totally staring at you. At this point, I believe Rocky came to me because obviously I'm the shy one. I'm the shy one. So Rocky comes up to me and, you know, starts saying hi and whatnot. And Rocky doesn't know who I am. He doesn't remember me. He doesn't remember that I'm the jackass who totally blew him off. He gives me his number. Even though I actually already had it in my cell phone, he gives me his number again because I never deleted it. And I say, okay, I will call you. And we'll set something up. You know, no longer man-hater Scott wants to get to know Rocky now, okay? So, as the week progresses, I give him a call. I, of course, wait the appropriate, like, 24, 48, 72 hours, or whatever the hell you're supposed to do. I didn't call him immediately because I don't want to look desperate. There's rules. So I wait the appropriate amount of time and I call him, dial the number. This number is no longer active. Seriously? I'm calling a number that doesn't exist. This can't be good. This can't be good. First time I talk to the guy, I tell him I never want to see him. And I'm trying to get in hold of him because I told him I was going to call him. And now the phone number doesn't work. And he's not going to believe me that the phone number doesn't work. He's just going to think that I am still a jackass. Anyway, I tried his phone multiple times that week, and every single time, same error message, that the number does not exist, call cannot be completed, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so bad. So next week, bowling, because bowling happens every week, people. Next week, we're back to the bowling alley, and as soon as I see him, I walk up, I'm like, I am so sorry, but I tried to call you, but every time I try, it told me the number was disconnected. And then I try to call him, like right in front of him, dial the number, and his phone rings. And now I'm just like, oh my god, I'm the biggest jackass ever. Or at least he thinks I'm the biggest jackass ever. Luckily, we kind of, laugh it off, ha 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 ha. Because at this point he knows, that I am that person that blew him off. One thing led to another, and we did end up, talking more. And then, the next interaction that I remember happening was at a gay bar. So I said I was going to be at the gay bar this day, around this time. And he's like, okay, well, if I'll show up, I'll meet you, and we'll say hi, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. But I'm there at the bar with my friend David. And so when Rocky shows up, he is thinking that I'm like with this guy or something. So can you see how this is just all kinds of badness happening right here, right? But I'm not with David. He was just my friend. In fact, he was trolling for guys. We just showed up together and we're hanging out a bit at the bar. But eventually, I go up to Rocky and I'm like, hey, what's up? And Rocky's like, are you with him? And I'm like, no, I'm not with him. He's just my buddy. And then we ended up buying each other drinks and hanging out. And then the next thing I know, it's a bit of a blur, but we consumed mass quantities of alcohol and we were just like making out with each other in the bar. We were those tacky people who were like just drunk making out at the bar. That was totally us, super classy. And then he walked me home. Yes, he walked me home. This is back in the day before we had this house. He walked me to my apartment because it was only 2 blocks away from the gay bar, which is super convenient. So he walked me to my house and then he walked home. I didn't want, we didn't, like have sex the first night, and he didn't spend the night the first night. I didn't want to go there, he didn't want to go there. We were just kind of, getting to know each other and see if it's really a good thing. So that happened, and then that happened a couple more times. Then I went on vacation to New Orleans for my friend's 30th birthday, and Rocky picked me up from the airport. In fact, I think he took me to the airport too. I don't remember, but I know he picked me up from the airport. And right around this time was my last and final interaction with Voldemort. He was actually somehow managed to get a contract job at my place of employment, and he was texting me, and I pretty much just said, I never want to see you again in my entire life. And he comes back like, you just ruined my day, blah, blah. And he finds my cubicle, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. But I'm on my way out, I'm about to go on vacation. And so I'm like, fine, just walk with me, I'm on my way out. And I pretty much told him, you and I, done, no more. And, which was good, it was perfect, because now that was just like a door closed, vroom. Okay, you are done. I've got better prospects happening. Yeah, I don't even want to be your friend. We are done. So, and yeah, and then he picked me up from New Orleans, and we were all happy, and we kept dating. And then, when we officially became a couple, is Halloween. So that year on Halloween, New Orleans happened in September, by the way, and then in Halloween, that same year, we went out to the Castro, back when they still had the Halloween, party on the Castro, which they don't do anymore, because I guess they decided it was too big or whatever, and everyone was going crazy. But we were there that week, that night, and we were hanging out with other people, and someone was like rubbing up against him, and I got annoyed. I'm like, don't rub up against him, that's mine. I rub up against that. And he's like, what, are we like officially a couple? And I'm like, yes, we are officially a couple. So that officially becomes a couple, and that sets our anniversary date. So after that, now we are officially a couple. We continue dating, seeing each other, blah, blah, blah. And this is the part that's a bit lesbianic, I will admit to this. We moved in with each other after about 5 to 6 months. When I bought this place, I was in the process of buying this loft that we live in. I was in the process of buying it before I even met him. Like, it was seriously a long process because it wasn't built yet, and this is back when the economy was crazy, and like to get a house you had to stand in line. And anyway, so the point is, I was in the process of buying this house before I even met him, and the day that I finally got the keys, you know, we had been dating for 5 to 6 months, and he just moved in. We moved into this place together. So even though this was my loft, you know, I'm the one that bought it, and I was in the process of buying it before I even met him, I have never lived here alone. It has always been us living here together. So, you know, sometimes Rocky likes to say, oh, this is your loft, and I'm like, no, this is our loft. Yes, it happened in the beginning of our relationship, but I've never lived here alone. This has always been our place. He helped me decorate it. You know, this is our home. Even though, yes, it's in my name because I bought it when we started dating, but it's still our home. And now that we're married, I mean, it's definitely our home. And whatever's mine is his now, right? Okay, so that moves forward to our lesbian experience of moving in together. Then we got fake married. We had on our on our, great, now I don't remember. It wasn't actually even on an anniversary date, but we had a commitment ceremony. And we did it on April Fool's, and we didn't tell anyone that it was happening. We just told people that we're having a cocktail party on April Fool's, so everyone was like dressed up and whatnot. And then, boom, we sprung it on them, and we're like, we're having a commitment ceremony, and everyone's like, oh my God! Only like 3 people knew, you know, the person who was officiating the commitment ceremony, us, and that's really pretty much it. So that was fun. And then we didn't do our domestic partnership paperwork at that time yet. Actually, we turned it in, our domestic partnership paperwork, on our anniversary. So our domestic partnership actually started on Halloween on our anniversary. Okay, then fast forward to when the Supreme Court abolishes no same-sex marriage and gays are allowed to get married for a couple months. So during that time, we're like, we are getting married, real married this time. So we set up our wedding. And we had all these grand plans. We were going to rent the Delta King out on the river to have our ceremony and our reception and whatnot. But this is the same time that the comic book store was happening, and the economy was bad, and it was dragging us down, and we could barely even buy food. So we ended up not having the big wedding. It actually ended up being here at our house again. But this time people knew we were getting married. You know, we did send out wedding invitations and everything, you know, like our marriage is happening. So we got married on our anniversary, which is cool. Because now, you know, our anniversary of when we, you know, started dating or become a couple, and when we got married, it's all the same anniversary date. So you don't have to remember different dates. So we got married on Halloween, so that is our wedding anniversary. So this Halloween will be our 3rd year wedding anniversary. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it'll be our 3rd wedding anniversary because that all happened 3 years ago. The whole gays getting married. Can you believe it's been that long and people still can't get married now? It's bullshit. Anyway. So, there you go. Rocky and I have been together now, well, come Halloween, we'll have been together for 8 years, been married for 3 years, we got married on our 5th anniversary. And there you go, Daniel. That is the story of us. Until next time, YouTube, love and bubbles.